Hi everybody, this is Kim from Earn Greater Profits, and this is a continuation of our video series about creating a website in the software. We've already created our global headers, our header navigation, and our footer navigation. And so if you haven't watched that one yet, you're more than welcome to go back and watch that video. In this video, we're just going to start adding some sections and see how far we go. So what I want to do is I want to get to, you'll notice in purple it says header navigation with this plus button. Let's just add a section. So we want a full width section, and we're going to squeeze it right there. And as we add things, our footer is going to just keep going down and down into where it needs to be. So we're going to add a row. I'm going to add a 2-column row. And usually what's currently popular right now is having a large background image here showing our product or our service, and our header, our headline that says what we do, what our business name is, etc. So that's what we're going to make the next section. And the first thing I want to do in my large section here is make a background image, or add a background image. So the green section is highlighted. We're scrolling down to the bottom and we're going to add some media. I haven't added anything yet, so let me pause and add an image that we can upload. All right, I've added this, just a woman sitting in a window, but I've used it in the past, and so I have something the right size. Okay, so now that we've added this video, or excuse me, this image, we have some options. So full center parallax, not supported for iOS. And so if you want to do that, that's great. In fact, I'll leave it this way so that you can just kind of see what happens with it once we start adding elements. Actually, I'll show you some of the other options. Full center. We've got fill 100% width, 100% width and height. So that'll stretch it depending on what kind of information we add to make this taller. Repeat. So if it was lengthy, this image will keep repeating. If you have a seamless background, that's a great one to use. You can repeat horizontally or vertically, fix it to the top or bottom. I'm going to throw it right there for a second while we figure out what we're going to put here for text, and then we'll adjust the picture based on how it looks with the text. So I'm going to add an element here. You remember I have 2 elements or 2 columns that I've set up, and since this woman is on the left, let's make our text on the right. I'm going to pull in a headline, and we're going to edit this headline. Now, when you pull in a headline, it defaults to H1. So if you're familiar with tags for CSS and for SEO, H1 is the highest tag and the one that Google sees as the most important text on the page. You can have as many headline H1 tags as you want, but for each additional tag, it dilutes the effectiveness. And so try to only have 1 or maybe 2 large important tags on the page. And so on this one, we're just going to leave this as our H1. It's at the top. We're going to put our services, our name, what we do, and maybe a call to action here. So This woman is sitting and looking at her computer. Maybe she's a healthcare provider or some sort of a personal coach. So let's go with coaching services for small business owners. And since you can do coaching services over the phone, over the internet, she's not stuck to a location. Let's just leave it at that. And so you can highlight this. It's already bold. If you want to take it off, here's our H1. If you want to change it to something else, you can. Let's just leave it, but I do want to change the font. And so to set up your fonts to default to a specific one, then you just come up here and go to typography, and you can choose all your headline fonts. Let's go with Poppins. That's kind of a fun one. And then you can change your content font. And let's go with Playfair Display because it's a pretty nice professional looking font. Okay. And then we can change our basic text color to something other than black, our links to something other than blue. Let's go with the dark purple because then you can see it. It's close to black, but if you make it too light, then sometimes your links don't show very good when they're underlined. Okay, so let's exit out of that. Let's hurry and click save just so that we don't lose our information. You'll notice our SEO metadata comes up a lot to remind us that we have not yet set up our default page and description. So let's do that now. And let's do our business name. And we'll do one of those. Let's do it a little differently. Let's say home. Now, if you've watched my SEO series, then you'll know exactly the structure that you want to put in for this. Business, if I can spell it right, business owners. Yes, there's a structure to it. And then we'll put coaching services for small business owners. Okay, skip the keywords. Google doesn't use keywords at all anymore in their metadata, and I'm not quite sure why the system still has this. They haven't used keywords since it's been years and years. You can just leave the rest. The other one I want to mention is the canonical links, and you can add those. I have in the video for my SEO series, it talks all about the canonical links and how to use them and why you need them. I'm not going to go through that right now. Just scroll down to the bottom here and hit update SEO data and then hit save. And then if you go back to your SEO data, click here and you'll see that those have been saved. And now that we've created our SEO data on the main page, it's going to copy over to our other pages, and then you can just edit what you already have. You don't have to create your metadata from scratch. So anyway, so now what we're going to do is, let's just change it from black. In fact, you don't even need to highlight it. You just need to be inside the orange, and you can edit anything you want here. So you can add a shadow to the text if you want. I don't necessarily like text shadows because you can't change the color. And so it just makes it a little bit fuzzy and hard to read. Hopefully one of these days they'll update that and allow you to change the text shadow to whatever color you want, or you can use custom CSS. If you want to change your spacing to be a little bit different than normal, you can. You can align it however you want. If you want to put a box shadow, then that's cool. In fact, let's go ahead and leave that box shadow a little bit because I'm going to change the background color to be a little bit transparent so that the text does not get lost with the picture. And we're going to adjust the picture just a little bit as well. And I'm going to change my text color from black to white. And that gives it a really good contrast. Or if your business colors have an off-white, then use the business, brand it your colors. And you can change any of the spacing that you want here. Let's just go into advanced and see what abilities you have. If you want a border, you can, and we discussed that in the last video. If you want to change the line height, then you can. So not 22. You can change that there. If you want to transform it and always have your headlines be uppercase, that's cool. There's a way to change for this particular one to be uppercase right here instead of having to retype it out. You can change the visibility on this. And one thing you're going to want to do is use this later, because having a background image like one like this doesn't go over well on mobile. And so I will show you how to fix that for mobile and how to make it look good. So in fact, I'll show you right now. You can, right now we're viewing in desktop mode. In mobile mode, it shows the whole image, and then it throws your text down below the image, which is fine if you want to do it that way. The reason being is because we've got this element, this first column element right here, that would naturally go over this image. And so let's go ahead and let's just copy and drag one of these over to the other side. Now with this one, we're going to change. Now remember, this only changes whatever is highlighted. So I'm highlighted here in orange. I'm going to make it visible only on mobile, so I'm going to delete that visibility. So now you can't see it. And then on this one, we'll highlight that, go to advanced, scroll down. I'm going to not show it on mobile. Okay, so now in desktop view, we don't see that there, but now on mobile view, we're going to have to fix the way this looks. So let's delete our, for one, our mobile size. We just don't need it that big. So 24, let's change it to 24. And then let's go back to advanced and change our line height back to 1.3. And let's get rid of some of this and just see how it looks. All right. I like the way that that looks. It looks so much better for mobile now. And our desktop looks great as well. Now, the other thing I want to do is let's add a call to action button. So let's throw this back on. So you can start over with that, or you can just copy and paste our call to action button that we already have and just drag one of those down here. Now it's touching that, so I want to adjust my spacing, And I want to put a margin of 20 above my button. And then what I'm going to do with this particular button is click to call now. Or call 385-300-1031. So if they don't want to click to call now, if they're not on their mobile phone and they are on a desktop, they've got your phone number there. They can just type it into their phone. And I'm going to link to a call. And in order to link your phone number so they can click to call, I'm going to hit +1 because you need the international code, 385-300-1031. That's my business line, and so we're going to go ahead and hit save. Okay, so here we've made changes to our global sections, and do we want to save? Yes. Okay, great. So we've got our call to action. We want to do the same for mobile because right now this is not showing on mobile. Oh, I want it to, let's take a look at what it says. Look at that. So we can leave that because it's down below the image, and that's not terrible looking. Let's just see if we can do something with the mobile view of this. Full center. Yeah, that doesn't look good. We've got to leave it. So let's just leave it like that and do click to call beneath it. And we're going to add a background section, we're going to add a background color. So even though we already have a background image here, we can still add a background cover that covers anything that the image does not. And so we can throw in whatever color we want. Kind of want to make it just really light color, but not white. And whatever your brand colors are, just make it off-white here. Great. So that gives us just a little off-white stuff so it doesn't look like it's thrown out there. On desktop, you're never going to see that background color because the image covers the whole thing. All right, let's hit save. That looks great. So we've gotten to quite a few things. We've set our typography. We've set a background image with our call to actions and our information here. And so everything looks good. All right, so we'll continue adding content in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.